Hi everyone. I've decided to do a pop-up show tonight and I want to talk about who's responsible for Jamaica's crime problem. So drop your flag, and you know, let us know what you think. Who's responsible for Jamaica's crime problem? Let us know what you think. So drop your flag, let me know where you're watching from, and drop in the comment section who you believe is responsible for Jamaica's crime problem. And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie, state of lawlessness? If the government
so that my Jamaican people can get it. But when I came here, I was sorry that I made the house. It's like a nightmare. Every day I get up, it's like I'm in a dream. what is going on in this country with this crime and violence. The Prime Minister is not connecting with the people of Jamaica. He must now do something. We are all living in fear. Thank you, my friend.
You born and grew in Westmoreland?
Born and grown in Westmoreland, went to Sam Sharp Teachers College. And this country has entirely changed, my friend. We do not know what happened. It's a new generation or what? We are living in fear. There's no law, there's no order in this country.
So what you heard happened down here in Little London? Here in Little London.
Yesterday, I have problem with the police, but I won't say anything. I personally, but I won't go further. But yesterday was the same thing that happened. They robbed in Little London, and everybody starts scrambling to go in their home. Every shop starts to close. Today now is Friday. Yesterday was Thursday, today is Friday, and it's the same thing happened. Look how early they closed. Look how early all the shops closed. Everybody is living in fear, my friend.
Oh, there it is. There it is. There it is. No, sorry. Sorry, I was having problem getting myself in the camera, but now that is resolved. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I couldn't get my camera to come on screen, but now that is resolved. If you can hear me, say you can hear me in the comment section. Sorry, I was having problem getting myself, but now that is resolved. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. I couldn't get my camera to come on screen, but now that is resolved. If you can hear me, say you can hear me in the comment section. And again, I am talking about. Sorry, I'm talking about who is responsible for Jamaica's crime problem. And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie, state of lawlessness, basically? Does this mean criminals are running the country? What does this mean when somebody say the government is not responsible for the crime rate in Jamaica? A test show to see how people would interact with the platform. I just decided to do a pop-up show tonight to see how viewers would interact. I know it's a little bit late, and I wanted to just come on screen and talk to people, see how people would interact with the platform, and get people's views on what they think about the crime problem in Jamaica, who's responsible, and if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie? So I want you to drop, if you're viewing, drop where you're viewing from and what do you think about the topic. To get my camera to come on screen now, that is it. Is resolved. If you can. So, as I said initially, that in regards to the crime problem in Jamaica, people's views are based on their political affiliation. So, somebody from the Jamaica Labour Party would say, "Oh, the government is not responsible. It's the people is responsible. They're the ones who are they're the ones who are not helping the government solve the crime problem." And the people from the People's National Party would normally say the government is responsible. So you get two different sides of who's responsible based on people's political affiliation. And I want to ask people, who is responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica? And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie, a state of lawlessness? Does this mean criminals are running the country? And I know there is a new, I know there is some some review came out about Jamaica, saying that Jamaica is amongst the safest place in the world. And I know that a lot of people are thinking that is actually crazy, because how can Jamaica be the safest country in the world when the crime rate is so terrible in Jamaica? And some people are saying, oh yeah, it's safe for tourists because they stay in the safe zones. But what about normal people who live in Jamaica, normal everyday Jamaican? Is it safe for those Jamaicans? Is it safe for them? So drop your what you think, who's responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica, and let me know what you think about the crime problem. Who's responsible? What can the government do? If the government is responsible, what can they do to make things better? And does the government really care about the crime problem? Um, does the government realize how bad it is? Do they really care? Do they want to fix it? What can the government do? So let me know what you think. What do you think the government can do in regards to addressing the issue of crime in Jamaica? You know, there are many different perspectives in regards to dealing with crime. And I have my own views of what I think about how crime should be dealt with in Jamaica. For me, I look at the broken windows theory. And I know I'm in the United States at the moment, and I know in New York City, there was a time when that was a strategy that was implemented in New York City, I think, the broken windows theory. And that theory is based on if you fix all the broken windows, fix all the dilapidated um, areas, and address small social social crime like theft and just small things, that will help to address the bigger issue with crime. And I think that is something that could be implemented in Jamaica, because when you look at a lot of the garrisons in Jamaica, those garrisons are dilapidated. A lot of those places, they doesn't have light, they don't have water. Um, People are literally living in unsafe zones. And I'm not saying those places are the only places that crime is happening in Jamaica, because we know there's crime in government, we know there's crime in the countryside. There's um, various types of crime in Jamaica all over. So I would like to ask people, what do you think the government can do differently? Does the government really care? Is the government responsible? Yeah, let me know in the comment section. And your comment will appear on screen. Let me know what you think about. Again, this is a pop-up show tonight. I wanted to come live to see how people would interact with the platform. And I know it's a little bit late. It's Sunday night. But I wanted to see how people would interact with the platform. And I know maybe a little bit earlier would have been better. But of course, I just wanted to give it a shot to see how people would interact with the platform. Again, we're talking about how do you, who is responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica? Who's responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica? And if government is not responsible, because a lot of people are saying government is not responsible, it's the people. The people are the problem. So if government is not responsible for the crime problem, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie, lawlessness, criminals are running the country? Tell me, what do you think in the comment section? Do you think Jamaica is in a state of anomie, a state of lawlessness? Do you think the country's been run by criminals? Do you think the government is responsible? And if they're responsible, what should the government do? What are some strategies the government should use in Jamaica to address the issue of crime? So what do you think about Jamaica being ranked among the safest countries in the world? Is this a laughing matter? Is this a joke? Is Jamaica among the safest countries in the world? Do you feel safe? Does the normal everyday people feel safe in Jamaica when you walk around? Do you agree with this perspective that Jamaica is among the safest countries in the world? And I want to say, we don't know who the next government is going to be whenever the election comes around. We don't know because there's not really a time frame yet on the election in Jamaica, the general election. And we don't know who the next government will be. But from my perspective, I do not see that Mark Golden have a crime plan either. I've listened to him speak in regards to issues of crime, but he doesn't have a crime plan as well. Andrew Olness definitely doesn't have a crime plan. We know that. We've seen it. He doesn't have a crime plan. And from my perspective, I do not think Mark Golden has a crime plan as well. I don't think any of them really care, from my perspective, because Andrew Olness did promise that Jamaicans, if he got elected, Jamaicans would be able to sleep with their doors open, their windows open. I think that's what he said, and we know that's not true. Jamaicans can't. From what we understand, Jamaicans can't. The shops are closing early, so that's not true. He didn't live up to that promise that he made to the Jamaican people, so we know that. And this is his second term. He's going. If he wins again, this will be his third term as leader of Jamaica, and he does not have a crime plan. He does not. But does Mark Golden have a crime plan? What do you think Mark Golden would do differently? Does he have a crime plan? Because I've listened to Mark Golden quite a lot, and I've tried to see what is his perspective on crime, and I have not seen anything tangible whereby he said, he's saying he would have done anything differently from Andrew Olness. I've wrote an article on Mark Golden's perspective, and most of what I see from Mark Golden is basically just talks, nothing really tangible. I know he's saying that the ZOSO should not be used as a tool for the crime problem, and I agree with him on that, because from what I've seen, the ZOSO is here, and crime, somebody just got killed outside the ZOSO or close to the ZOSO. So I agree with Mark Golden when he says the ZOSO should not be used as a tool. I agree with Mark Golden when he says The ZOSO should not be used as a tool for solving crime. But what is Mark Golden's plan to address this crime problem? Because, I mean, I'm not saying Andrew Holness should stay because, I think maybe a change of government would, I don't know. I don't know. But Mark Golden, from my perspective as well, I've not seen anything tangible from him whereby he has a plan, a strategy that he will implement it if he becomes the next government or the next leader of Jamaica. I know that he's saying that addressing the problem of crime is a should be a multifaceted system, which I agree on that, but he doesn't have anything tangible whereby to me would indicate that he has a system, a structure that he will put in place to address the problem. And, we can't just have another government, another leader just talking. That's not going to work. For Jamaica's crime problem to be addressed, there have to be tangible systems put in place that is definitely going to make an impact. And I have not seen that from Mark Golden. And I would have liked to see something more tangible, something that I could say, yes, this is what he's going to do if he becomes government. From my perspective, it seems as if both Mark Golden and Andrew Holness are basically on the same agenda when it comes to the crime problem. But again, I want to ask people, what do you think? And I looked at garrisons again, and both government, the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, have neglected the garrisons of Jamaica. When I say garrisons, I mean Payne Avenue, Denham Town, Tivoli Gardens. I mean, I just heard Andrew Holness say he's going to be building some houses in Tivoli Gardens. I'm like, why would you even do that? Why would you put more houses in the garrisons? A lot of those people there doesn't have water. There doesn't have running water in their houses. A lot of these people, why would you put more houses in those areas? Those areas need, reconstructed, and there need to be a different approach in regards to, changing some stuff, changing, not continuing with what is happening. I remember I lived in Amsterdam, and there's a place in Amsterdam called the Belmer. And I remember in the Belmer, there was small crime. I mean, not anything, murders, mostly drug dealings, and you can get fake documents and stuff like that. And the government of Holland, when I was leaving Holland, they were about to break the Belmer. And the Belmer the Bijlmer, anyone who lives in Amsterdam, in Holland, know anything about the Bijlmer. The Bijlmer is where the buildings were very strong concrete structures, like loads and loads of strong concrete structures. And the government, they literally moved everybody out of the Bijlmer. When I was leaving there, because I left Amsterdam and moved back to England by that time, but when I was leaving, I found out that they were moving people all over Amsterdam. They were moving everybody out. They were giving people houses, scattering the people all over Amsterdam and maybe wherever in Holland, moving them out of the Bijlmer, scattering them all over, and they were about to break the Bijlmer and reconstruct the place, to get rid of the crime problem that they saw they had at the time. And then I know this is a controversial process. People would say, these people have lived in Denham Town and in Rima and Trenchtown and all these places for a very, very long time, and where they're gonna go. And and I'm not saying this is a short-term goal, or anything short term. This would have to be a long-term strategy, and both parties and government would have to agree on this. But I think maybe that's a solution: breaking those areas, breaking Tivoli Gardens. And I know people are going to be upset about this. I get it and I understand, but why have millions of people or hundreds of thousands of people living in an area where every day somebody get killed? They're not safe. They haven't got running water in their bathroom. The places are dilapidated. I know when the 2010 excursion happened in Tivoli Gardens, and there was a lot of gunshots when they were trying to get Duddas out of Tivoli Gardens. There was loads of gunshots in the buildings and everything. And from what I understand, some of those bullet holes are still in the buildings of Tivoli Gardens. They're still in the bloody buildings of Tivoli Gardens. So why on earth would anybody want to be reminded of that? So I think that could be one of the long-term solution of breaking these places. And yeah, I mean, I'm not somebody who normally supports gentrification, but maybe this can be a long-term solution. And there's lots of different solutions and ideas that I think the government can take in regards to addressing the issue. I mean, imagine someone doesn't have water to take a shower. Like, that is just horrible. You don't have water to flush toilet or take a shower. I mean, you have to be miserable to be able to be living in a space where you can't go take a shower and you can't use the toilet and flush the toilet. And hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of people in, I can tell you, Denham Town, Rima, Squatters, Jungle, White Wing, because I know I have family, sisters, and families and close relatives, people that I really, really care about in those areas. And I know that this is happening, and I'm absolutely shocked that so he doesn't have water to take shower or to flush the toilet. What do you do? I'm asking this question because I'm like, it's ridiculous. So I mean, when people are living in those kinds of deplorable situation, it's hard for them to feel humane, to feel respected, and to respect themselves and to respect their community and not to fight with each other, because the community is already terrible. And again, both parties have neglected these areas, and both parties have strong representation in these areas. The PMP have a strong representation in Jungle, the Jamaica Labour Party, and I think parts of Rima, squatters know, run, PMP, people, the People's National Party supporters there. And then you have the Jamaica Labour Party, Denham Town, Tivoli Gardens. So all of these areas, the whole out of Denham Town, and I know, or now, you have strong, these both parties have strong representations in these areas. So, and both of them have neglected. I mean, I lived in West Kingston. I lived in Denham Town. I live in Rima. I live in Squatters. I mean, both of these areas have strong representation, and the government basically have neglected. I mean, they've neglected it when I was living there, but at least at the time there was water there. You could take a bloody shower. Now you can't take a bloody shower anymore. So it has gotten really worse since I've left there ages ago. So these are basically issues that I think are part of the problem. When you live in a deplorable conditions, you don't respect your neighborhood. You don't feel safe. And again, I'm not saying these are the only places that have crime problems, because I know in Jamaica, at least the thing people have problem. Everybody wants to stab and shoot, and them hire gunman to kill them friend and kill them family. So me get it. I know just the getters. I understand that. That is basically another aspect of crime. But I think the government, I mean, from my perspective, I think the government is responsible, but I would like to hear what people have to say. Who is responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica? I think I'm going to stay maybe another 15 minutes, then I'm going to get off live. This is basically a test run. I've decided just to do a pop-up interaction on Jamaica Live, because I mean, we're literally not really using the platform anymore to do live interactions with the public. And it's something that I'm thinking I want to, basically start again, because there's so much happening in the world. And, this is a platform that, we can interact with people and share ideas. And so I'm thinking of possibility of starting a weekly show. But again, I want to see how people interact with the platform. And I want people to basically share your opinion and let me know, what do you think about, again, the topic, who's responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica. And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie, state of lawlessness? Does this mean criminals are running the country? And it says here that Jamaica is ranked among the safest countries Do you feel safe in Jamaica? Do you think the fact that they're saying Jamaica ranked the safest country in the world is just a bunch of bloody poppycock? How do you think they even come up with this perspective when the crime rate in Jamaica from a lot of perspective is detrimental? Again, I want to play a video again from the Jamaica Observer where this gentleman is basically saying that, listen, I'm basically sad that I moved to Jamaica.
And I came to Jamaica to spend my money here so that my Jamaican people can get it. But when I came here, I was sorry that I made the house. It's like a nightmare. Every day I get up, it's like I'm in a dream. What is going on in this country with this crime and violence? The Prime Minister is not connecting with the people of Jamaica. He must now do something. We are all living in fear. Thank you, my friend. I'm
You born and grew in Westmoreland?
Born and grown in Westmoreland, went to Sam Sharp Teachers College. And this country has entirely changed, my friend. We do not know what happened. It's a new generation or what? We are living in fear. There's no law, there's no order in this country.
So what you heard happened down here in Little London?
Yesterday, I have problem with the police, but I won't say anything. I personally, but I won't go further. But yesterday was the same thing that happened. They robbed in Little London, and everybody starts scrambling to go in their home. Every shop starts to close. Today, now, is Friday. Yesterday was Thursday, today's Friday, and it's the same thing happened. Look how early they close. Look how early all the shops close. Everybody is living in fear, my friend.
So this gentleman here, basically is saying that, everybody's living in fear. People are afraid. And he's basically sorry that he moved back to Jamaica. And, a lot of us, like myself, we do, we would want to move back to Jamaica. I mean, I would want to move back to Jamaica. But a lot of us are afraid, really, because of the crime problem, because, you want to move back, you want to, where I live here in the United States, I feel safe. I can jump on a bus and go into Manhattan, come in at 3 o'clock in the morning. I can literally, now it's like 10, I can sleep with my window or my door open right where I live here. I can, I can walk outside, I can go for a jog 2 o'clock in the morning outside. I can do that. Sometimes I look outside my window, I see the kids out there playing basketball, at park, at Cosome, people walking. Sometimes I go for a jog at 11 o'clock at night, come back 12:30. There's loads of parks around here. I go to New York City. I stay in the city until 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I literally, live close to New York City, and I take the bus and I feel safe. I literally feel safe. I can walk with my bag. I can literally sleep with my window open, literally sleep with my door open, really, to be honest. So I feel safe. And I'm not saying, I couldn't be outside and somebody start shooting up, a mass shooting, because these things happen. But it's a different kind of perspective when you literally you know that you can't have your your window open or your door open, because somebody may just come inside and rob you and kill you, and shops have to be closed early. That tells that Jamaica is in trouble. There, Emile Durkheim, who is I think he's, I don't remember if he's French or German. He's the father of functionalism, and he has one of his perspective. He says that crime is an integral part of society. Emile Durkheim, let me look him up. I'm not sure if he's French or German. Emile, French, he's a French sociologist. Emile Durkheim is a French sociologist. And Emile Durkheim argued that crime is an integral part of society. And he argues that crime only becomes a problem when it impedes the growth of society. He says crime is an integral part of society, and crime only becomes a problem when it impedes the growth of society. And at this moment, from what this gentleman is saying, crime is literally impeding the growth of Jamaican society, because the shops have to be closed early. It's Christmas now, and all the shops are closed down early because they're in fear that criminals going to rob and kill and murder them, and people are going to be robbed. So they're in fear of their lives. And a lot of people who are in the diaspora, like myself, we are afraid to move back, and we would have come back and set up businesses and bring money. And like this gentleman, he said, listen, I'm bloody sorry that I moved back. I'm bloody sorry that I built my house in Jamaica. I'm bloody sorry that I've done that, because I mean, this man is so desperately in fear and anger that you could hear him hoofing and literally gasping for his life, because how painful it is for him to literally take himself from a foreign country. He born and grew up in Jamaica like myself, moved to a foreign country, work for a long time, bring his money back, and decide I'm going back home because, Jamaica is beautiful. Jamaica is bloody beautiful. And we can't dispute that. Jamaica is beautiful. People are normally happy. There's lots going on in Jamaica, loads and loads of stuff happening. It's a beautiful island. It's very vivacious. There's lots going on. So of course we want to move back. Of course we want to go back. But you take yourself and you go back, and then you feel you're broken, really. So crime is definitely impeding the growth of society, because this gentleman, I'm sure he would have sell his house and move out if he could, because right now, because he saw it broken. So again, we're talking about the crime problem in Jamaica, and who's responsible for the crime problem in Jamaica. Some people say the government is not responsible. Some people say the people are the problem. Who's responsible? And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie? State of anomie meaning a state of lawlessness whereby criminals are running the country. The government, state of anomie meaning the government doesn't have control over crime. they are incapable of addressing the crime problem. Criminals are in charge, criminals are running the show. Is that what's happening in Jamaica? And, you know, from a lot of people in Jamaica, I know, I mean, some of them are very depressed, like this gentleman. Some of them are in safe zones where they feel really safe. And some people are just like, they become like numb to the whole situation. It's like they're just waiting to become a victim, really. Or they're just praying that maybe it's not going to be them. And I understand that their crime and problems everywhere. I get it. Right now, the whole bloody world now is in trouble. So I understand that perspective. I do. And we all are hurting in regards to what is happening in the world. There's no doubt about that. But at some point, we must have some form of safety in our micro organic culture system where we live, in our spaces. We must, unless the place are in turmoil, then that's a whole different story, you know. But if it's not, there have to be some form of safety in regards to how people feel. And people shouldn't resort to feeling helpless, like there's nothing they can do about it. And I think that's what's happening at the moment. In Jamaica, people are feeling helpless. They don't know what to do anymore. If you're watching, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know exactly where you're watching from. And I don't know. I think this, we're also on YouTube. Let me have a look over there. I think we're both on YouTube and Facebook at the moment. Oh, I think we have, I don't know if it's YouTube. Um, okay, so we're already on 55 minutes. So I think I am going to end this live. Again, this was just a test live, a pop-up live, to see how people would interact with the space and to see if if this is something that we should do, maybe a weekly program on Jamaica Live. So again, thank you for watching, and you can still respond to the program and contribute to the conversation, and let us know what you think in regards to Jamaica's crime problem. Yeah, so we're almost an hour, so I am going to end the live. So thank you for watching, and again, you can still interact with the program and let us know what you think about, again, who's responsible for Jamaica's crime problem. If the government, is the government responsible? And if the government is not responsible, does this mean Jamaica is in a state of anomie? Again, thank you for watching. Have a good night.